Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I am Chatty, and I will be doing part 2 of my series about series video because, of course, I had a filming fail. Don't we just love those? No, we don't. So if you have not seen part 1, it is linked here. I suggest you go and look at that one so you're not totally confused. And I'm just going to go straight into where I left off. So I was talking about the Shadow Cabinet, about how much fun I was having with this book and this series. I cannot wait for the third one, but I am going to have to wait 2 years because it is not coming out until 2025. However, we will be given a prequel this year, which, as gutted as I am not to hear what happens, I really want Juno Dawson to be able to land her plane and bring the series to the close she wants to. So it's definitely a trilogy. She has confirmed that. But she is giving us a prequel. So we will be getting Queen Bee, which is about Anne Boleyn, who is the start of Her Majesty's Royal Coven. And we are told the story by her female lover. So that is going to be very exciting. I cannot wait to hear about what that is going to do. I think it's going to be a whole load of fun. But yeah, I just think Juno Dawson is just having such an amazing time with this series. I'm so pleased she's just having a great time writing what she wants to, and it's delicious. So yes, more please. Is that everything up to date? Yes, it is. So officially there is 4 that I'm now up to date with. However, there is actually more because series I've started only have the first book out. So there is actually more I'm up to date with. So we will get there. But I want to talk about ones I've made progress with, so we get to take another book off the pile. And this is A Sprinkle of Sorcery by Michelle Harrison. And I have also read A Tangle of Spells by Michelle Harrison as well. So this is book 2 and 3. So I only have 1 more now in the Pinch of Magic series. And I'm loving the Pinch of Magic series. It is such a delightful middle grade. We have got 3 very strong sisters, and I love their sisterly bond. I love their different characters and how they complement each other. They're just amazing. We have got the older sister Fliss. We have Betty, who is our narrator, who loves maps and exploring and kind of comes up with quite a lot of ideas. And then we have Charlie, who is the youngest fun one that doesn't filter, loves animals, and doesn't really listen to other people's opinions about things. And food. She also loves food. But I really love how the sisters are supportive of each other. They will tease each other, but no one else is allowed to tease them. So we get a sort of more sea-based adventure in Sprinkle of Sorcery, and we get a legend about treasure and an island, which is a great fun. What I love about these series is that the kind of theme is there is a local legend, and it starts kind of impacting on the lives of the Wittersham sisters, and they kind of have to kind of explore what's going on and solve the problem. And then they realise that the legend is actually true, and but they manage to kind of make things right and for it to be a better place. In this one, we have this little village that looks very beautiful on the outside, but it has more of like a haunted, witchy kind of feel to it. This was so much fun. Really, really enjoyed both of these, and I cannot wait to finish off the series with the final book and then read everything else that Michelle Harrison has written because I just really enjoy her books. So wonderful middle grade stories. Okay, so we're now going to be looking at series that I have started, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but we'll see how we go. I have one to mention from my previous video. So I totally forgot to talk about one series that I started, and that is Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. I forgot to mention that I started this. I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be a quartet or a duology. I have no idea. But it's definitely going to be more than one. That's very clear. And I think the rumours are sometime in the summer of 2024. I don't know. I don't think it's been confirmed. So for now, I'm up to date. Again, this was a really fun fantasy. We have this Middle Eastern world. We have kind of like this magic kingdom that is kind of sealed off from the outside world. The outside world is kind of being invaded. There is magic that is used with tea drinking, and then everyone has a gift that is enhanced. And we slowly start to learn more about different people's magic, different people's gifts. We learn more about our protagonist and her family and kind of what she's going through and what she thinks about things, and maybe the stories they've been told aren't necessarily the full truth. We have Jin. We have a prison break. Well, there's a lot going on in this book, so it's a really fun adventure, but there is heart in it as well. It was a really good debut. I'm hoping the second book feels a bit tighter. There were moments where I felt the pacing kind of dropped a bit. There was a lot going on, so there's a lot of kind of like things to pull together. So I'm really excited to see kind of like where she takes the story and kind of where it goes next. I'm excited, and this book is absolutely beautiful. So the next book is a middle grade. I don't have a copy of it. It's at the library. So this is Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor by Ziran J. Zhao. No idea when we're going to get any more books in this series. It's all very quiet on that, but I definitely feel there will be. I also feel I would need to reread this again because it's a really fast-paced adventure. There's a lot of kind of Chinese mythology in here and Chinese folklore, which is fantastic. I want to read more about that so I can kind of like, it makes me want to read more and kind of do more background research because I love like Easter eggs and things like that. So then I want to reread and then kind of continue with the series. So we'll see how that gets on, or maybe just a synopsis, I don't know, but I'm very much looking forward to continuing with this series. It's very kind of like fun, our world, but with the magical world kind of overlapping, of the kind of Percy Jackson vibe in kind of that sense, and a lot of that same kind of humor. You know, it's very kind of like early teenage humor. I find it fun. I find the characters quite sweet and endearing, so I was definitely here for the ride. So started series but technically up to date because I don't know when anything else is happening with that one. And I have got three more that were and one that now isn't. So also started This Vicious Grace, which is YA fantasy duology, set on this kind of like Sicilian isle, so it gives you all the wonderful kind of like summery vibes. I really loved the main character in this. I connected with her straight away. I found her really funny. I thought her and the love interest had really great chemistry in this. I was very intrigued by the world and the story and kind of the problems she was having to deal with. And, you know, she is kind of pretty much in charge in this. She is running this show with people helping her. So she's got a lot on her shoulders. And I kind of found that quite refreshing because usually the protagonist is kind of like a minor player that becomes a great player. So it was really fun to have her already in the great player and dealing with that stress without having even proved herself yet, and just having that full expectation on her was really fun. We do get some found family vibes. We do get a lot of kind of fun jokes in here as well. And I'm keen to see where it goes. It was left in a place though I'm like, yes, I definitely want to read more. The final book is out. I thought it was supposed to be out already, but I think it's not out until December or possibly January. So literally a few weeks away from being out. So it's not going to last long on my up-to-date pile. But I'm currently up to date with This Vicious Grace. It's called The Last Finestra duology. My up-to-date pile is looking very precarious right now. Yeah, how many books do I have in there? I think that is correct. I'll have to inspect that. I then have City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaffer. This is a really, really fun YA fantasy. It's got a very different vibe. It is, I think it's sold as kind of like Gotham. Like it has that whole kind of like dark living in Batman's world full of criminal gangs and like dodgy business people. It really feels like that. It's a really kind of unique magical aspect in here that there's something in the water that people, when they fall asleep, they can become their nightmares. So whatever it is they fear the most, they then become that fear, with varying consequences. Our protagonist is a coward, so she's got a lot to overcome. So she had a really fun arc we really get to know her. We get to know a lot about her and her best friend and kind of their connection. She gets thrown into an adventure that she really wasn't expecting. She's got to kind of make friends with, kind of make a temporary alliance with someone that she really doesn't trust. And then she's thrown into kind of solving a mystery when she is someone that would just kind of like focus on surviving, focus on her and kind of shutting everything else out. She no longer gets the opportunity to do that. And then she chooses to keep going with it. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed everything that was explored and what we know about this world now. And I'm really keen to see kind of where we go from here, given everything that happened, which is so exciting. I was up to date with City of Nightmares, but the second book, The Cage of Dreams, is now out. So I'm now no longer up to date. So I'll be putting this on my pile of series to be continuing with when I get hold of the next book. I then have Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. Again, it's another YA fantasy. I've been doing a lot of Fairy Loot book box reading with Chloe and Vidania, which has been great, but it does mean I have a load of series that I'm now adding to my series list. A few more one-off books, please, Fairy Loot, so I don't have this dilemma. However, Sing Me to Sleep is so fun. I love this book. I had a great time with the whole premise of this book, where we have this magical kingdom where it has got like, it's not equal. There is like levels of social classes within here based on people's magical abilities and species. So that feels really uncomfortable. Our protagonist, whose name has slipped my mind, Saoirse. Should not have forgotten that she's called Saoirse. Saoirse is a siren. Sirens are one of the creatures, magical creatures that have been outlawed from the land they're currently living in. If she was discovered, she would be killed because she is a danger. And she does have killer instincts. So she's constantly battling with her killer instincts. There we go, I can say it. Throughout this book, which gives it a really exciting dynamic. She is also kind of brought to be aware of choices that she makes and consequences. There is an aspect of kind of exploring humanity in this. There is definitely an aspect of family and friendships and trust. There's a lot of, you don't know who to trust at certain points. The magic system is really interesting. Like having beads to change your appearance and things like that, and these candles that can connect you. It's really, really fun. So I can't wait to spend more time in this world. There was a lot of kind of, it was pulled together as a story at the end really well, but it's also left you kind of wanting more with loose ends that I'm really looking forward to see how all of that resolves. Okay, so that is all my up-to-date series. Now I have a precarious pile. I now feel like I've miscounted because there looks a lot more on that pile than I thought there was going to be. I now have to where the series is out, so it's not up to date at all. It is very much I've started. So technically I started 3 series, but one of them I then finished. Obviously it was more, but then the others were up to date. So the next ones I'm going to be talking about are ones that I've just read in November. So November was not great for finishing series. The Haunting of Evelyn Jones by Phil Hicks. I next have The Bewitching of Evelyn Jones, and then I think it's The Vanishing of Evelyn Jones. This was a spooky horror middle grade, which was wonderful atmosphere, wonderful urban legends and stories explored, delightful time, gorgeous writing. Cannot wait to continue in this series, but I don't own them, so I will be collecting them, maybe read them again around spooky season, I don't know. But this was a really fun series and I'm very keen to be continuing with it. I then have The Conductors. I love The Conductors by Nicole Glover. The second book, The Undertakers, is out and I really, really want to get it. That's quite high on my list. I want to get it and I want to read it soon because I want to kind of like hang out with these characters again. I have looked up Nicole Glover and she has got plans for 2 more books in these series, but set more into the future. So I think The Conductors, and I feel The Undertakers must as well. I don't know if there is a time jump. But these are set in the in the very early 1870s. I don't know when The Undertakers will be set, but then there's going to be other ones that are kind of set at different points in history, focusing on different women, but with this same magical system in this world and kind of how they are managing with being female, being black, and having magic. fun times. The Conductors was a mixture between fantasy, historical fiction and mystery, and it was great. The series is called Magic and Murder. I had a wonderful time with it. I love the characters. The characters are really what like pulled me into the story. I've grown really fond of them and I really care about them and their little community. But I do feel like Nicole Glover's writing was brilliant, like drawing you in and kind of leading you on these different ways, giving you bits and pieces that you needed. It was, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. Okay, so that is everything that I have read. So let's go and have a little look at how my piles of books are looking now. I do not know what I have been counting, but my up-to-date series is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books tall. Whereas originally I thought it was 9. So I've got I'm up to date with the Nevermore series, with the Iron Widow series, Supernatural Investigation series, Legendborn Cycle, Lizzie and Belle Mysteries, Onyeka, Her Majesty's Royal Coven, Spice Road, Zachary Ying, The Last Finestra, and Sing Me to Sleep. And here are the series I'm currently working on. And it is now 20 books. So it was 24 and it's now on 20. So I feel very happy that it's gone down. So that's great. Obviously could do with it going down a bit more, but I will take that. So it's the same books as before, but I now have the Storm of Sisters is the final book in the Pinch of Magic series on there. I have got Foxglove, the second book in the Belladonna series on there. I have also now added Evelyn Jones, The Conductors, She Who Became the Sun, Only a Monster, City of Nightmares, and Foxglove. So over the next month, kind of by the end of the year, I definitely have books that I'm hoping to be reading. Definitely will be reading Storm of Sisters and Foxglove. And then I've got one series up to date and one finished, so I'm excited about those. I would also like to possibly get to Concrete Rose, Secrets of the Stars, and The Hunger of the Gods. Possibly the next Adventures on Trains book, which is Danger at Deadman Pass, maybe. We will see how that goes. And if I can manage to do those, then in January, February time, I want to start working on the Ark of the Scythe series. I am annoyed that I have not made any progress in Ark of the Scythe. That was my other one below Merlin that I really wanted to get reading on. Because I read Ark of the Scythe such a long time ago. I read Scythe such a long time ago, and I was like, well, I just need to read Thunderhead. Just need to read Thunderhead and kind of continue. So I am feeling more in a dystopian mood. Although I've got a load of wintry books coming in. So we'll see what happens, but definitely early on in 2024, I really want to read Ark of the Scythe. I really need to get Shades of Magic finished with. That book just needed to go and stop looming over me. And I'm very much looking forward to hopefully reading enough in the Read What You Own challenge that I can spend money and get the Undertakers so I can continue with the Magic and Murder series, which was awesome. So those are kind of my top plans with my series. Looking into 2024, I definitely feel it is going to be time for Brandon Sanderson, so I will be reading the Stormlight Archive. That is my fantasy focus. Possibly thinking about continuing with the Wayfarers as well. And I feel that I need to start cracking on with Ken Follett's series as well, but the books are so massive. But yeah, I would like to kind of get back to the Knightsbridge one and quite enjoy the historical fiction aspect of it as well. So we will see how all of that goes. Please let me know if you have any thoughts on any of the series I have mentioned, or if you want to tell me how you are doing with series. Do you read a lot of series? How's it all going? Are you feeling accomplished? You know, I love a chat. Happy reading, everyone.